Psalm 119 verse 28, our God will help us to overcome the slow work of sorrow. Psalm 119:28, my soul melts from heaviness, strengthen me according to your word. The idea of melting does not truly express the meaning of the analogy portrayed in the verse, and it would perhaps be better conveyed by the phrase profound weeping. Overbearing sorrow was dissolving away his will to live. It was a constant source of conviction and continuous grief that was slowly wearing away at the soul. The word translated as heaviness implies a significant depth of grief and sorrow. We will often say that a person with this type of silent sorrow just pines away. The psalmist pleads with God to strengthen him, giving him the strength to overcome this slow work of sorrow. Perhaps this is what our Lord Jesus thought as he hung from the cross and felt his physical life ebbing away. We are given written insight into that horrible moment by this prophetic expression in Psalm 22:14, I am poured out like water, and all my bones are disjointed, my heart is like wax, melting within me. CSB, the psalmist's hope in his state of depression lies not in himself, but in his God. Prayer in despairing times is the surest and shortest way out of the depths of depression. The psalmist expresses his state of depression throughout this psalm. We have already read in verse 20, his soul breaks with longing. In verse 25, his soul clings to the dust. When we get to verse 81, his soul faints for your salvation. In verse 109, his soul is continually in God's hand. In verse 167, his soul keeps God's testimonies and he loves them exceedingly. And finally, in verse 175, let my soul live, and it shall praise you, and let your judgments help me. In memory of my friend Randy.